So Garyvee has amassed over 10 million followers on Instagram, and lately he's been crushing it with Instagram Reels, pun intended. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down his content for you and show you the tactics he uses to get over 100,000, a million, and even 10 million views on his Reels. And before you say,
but it's Garyvee, he's got 10 million followers on Instagram, of course he gets views.
Let me tell you this, even if he had 0 followers on his Instagram account, the tactics he uses and the Reels he put out would still get hundreds of thousands of views. I guarantee it. And I'm going to show you how to do the same. So the first one right here.
It's motherfucking receipts!
All right, so first of all, that was a very crazy intro. He was yelling receipts, that grabs attention, it creates intrigue. And then he follows up straight away with
99% of the audience had no idea what the f I was talking about.
So you're clueless as to what was going on, and then he addresses the fact that you're clueless, therefore making you relate to what he's saying. So he basically hooked you in very, very quickly into that reel, and now you want to watch the rest of it because you actually want to know, you want to be a part of that 1% of the audience that does know what's going on.
Earlier in the week, Coach Sala, this is why I love the mother, was like, you know what? Just so all of you know,
And so obviously Gary is very good at telling the story, but what he does throughout this reel as well is he also adds visual context. So when he's talking about Coach Sala, he shows a picture of him. When he's talking about the specific moment when he's on the news talking about something in particular, he shows that moment on the news. So he adds visual context to help you put together the story in your mind. And on top of that, you'll even notice that when we see visual elements appear, the sound effects with them.
I'm keeping receipts.
On that transition just there, we heard the swoosh noise, sound effect. Makes it more engaging, makes you feel like you're within the content, you're consuming it. And then the final things, we're gonna get through these quick.
You have to be a diehard of a diehard of a diehard. And so that's what receipts meant. Receipts!
As you can see, as well as there being subtitles and more visual context when he talks about Die Hard, you can also notice that he cuts the reel literally. He doesn't leave a split second of silence at the end. He just chops it and it starts looping around again. This is because retention is really important on Instagram Reels and TikTok and YouTube Shorts for that matter. And so the best way to boost your retention is by taking out a video that isn't going to get watched. There's no need for a long outro, just end it. He literally ends it on the word, abruptly. And that video got 67,000 likes and 1.5 million views. Let's go on to the next one, which got 80,000 likes and 1.8 million views. And this one,
98, I email Wine Library's database and say, today we are offering free shipping on winelibrary.com. We were a $4 million business.
So there's the first few things we can notice right here. Now, if we take a look, we've got a headline, which is the biggest day in Wine Library history. So if we're a follower of Garyvee, we know all about Wine Library, and you want to know what the biggest day of Wine Library history is. So that creates intrigue. There's a headline, and we can see that headline before even waiting for him to speak, you know. Now, the first thing he says is 1998, which is a date. This adds context, but it's also a common date that we are familiar with. A lot of us are born around that time. A lot of us lived through that time maybe. And so that specific date there adds context to the whole story and also creates intrigue even more. And you'll notice, if I refresh this,
1998, I emailed.
do you notice how there's a big cut between when he says 1998 to I emailed? I think it's because there could have been something in between there, but it wasn't necessary for this story for when it was edited to this reel. So as you can see, he cuts out all the fluff. Again, this is to help retention. Cuts out all the blank spaces, all the sentences that don't contribute to the story.
And say, today we are offering free shipping on winelibrary.com.
So again, very good stage presence. He tells the story really well. We've also got subtitles here in a little bit of a different format. There's a headline. We've got the emojis that pop in from time to time to make it more dynamic. And then we've even got the date in the top right here. Okay, so we've studied that one again very quickly, but now we're going to move on to the next one. And if you pay attention, we're going to start seeing some patterns, and you're going to learn how you're going to take these tactics that he's applying across multiple of his reels that we don't necessarily see at first glance, that you're going to start applying to your content to help you get more views. So this next one here has got 29,000 likes and 900,000 views, so a little less, but we can still find some great tactics.
Being nice is ROI positive.
Okay, so the first thing, that was the hook, that was the intro line. So being nice is ROI positive, that is intriguing. Like, it's just the way he's invested in the story, the way he says it, and it's also like, what does that mean? Being nice is ROI positive, why? People want to find out. Also, I feel like being nice is sometimes a controversial topic online, especially if you're hanging around Twitter. And so again, here we've got why being nice is a business strategy. That's a headline, that's a hook, that's an intriguing one. We've also got the subtitles in bright yellow, which contrast the blue so they stand out. Every one of his videos has subtitles. So you want to add subtitles to every one of your videos. Let's keep watching.
It is traveling, it is being known, it is leverage.
Okay. As you can see, we've got fast-paced jump cuts, we're removing all the fluff, and we've got jump cuts that change scale so it zooms in or out. And this is again to make the video more engaging and more dynamic, because when there's a difference in scale between each cut, the cut is less prominent, and it also makes it vary, right? Like if I'm changing environment in a video, it switches things up and my brain's like, okay, now this is a little new. And this is on a very small scale he's doing it, but it does make a difference. When he's emphasizing on a word and it jump cuts in on that word, it adds importance onto that word.
The ability to be not nice, politicking.
You can see every single word there zoomed in a little bit more to emphasize on the story and just to make it a little bit more engaging.
Sprint for about 40 seconds, but you never win the marathon of what's being played here. It is.
You can even see, I don't know if you noticed that, there was a very slow pan zoom in, which that again is just something to make the video a little bit more dynamic and engaging.
Being a dick in Portland in 1974.
And I do want to mention is that there's a reason why the headline isn't at the top here, and that there's this blurred background, which is just the video duplicated, put as the background and a blur overlaid on top of it. It's because when you consume Reels, you're never looking straight at the top of the screen or straight at the bottom. First of all, there's the little Reels icon, so it gets hidden. At the bottom, we've got like the comments, the description. And so he purposefully lowered it so it's more visible, so you're more likely to see it, you're more likely to read it, and that it's more likely to catch your attention and hook you into watching that specific reel. Everything here is thought out. You might think it looks a little ugly having that space, that blank space at the top, but it's done on purpose and I'm sure it does actually help. If we go back to this one, we can actually see the same thing. There is a big header, but the title or the headline is actually lowered, so it's far from being at the top of the video. Now let's move on to the last one. It's got 54,000 likes and 1.3 million views, and I basically just want to open this one up because we're going to take a quick look at the beginning.
I talked to this mom and her son right after.
So as you can see right there, we had this intro and then
watch the full video.
So I left my house when I was.
So this reel is a little bit longer, or I think it might even be a couple of minutes long, and it's not even a reel. But the intro here is very clever because what we're doing essentially right now, which is studying content to learn from and apply to our own, Garyvee does as well. Garyvee didn't invent this text-to-speech AI voice intro which provides context to a video, which is what he just did. It said, I talked to this mum and her son. Watch the full video. And basically he provides context so people know what they're about to get into, but it also creates intrigue because you don't necessarily know what they talked about. The mother-son relationship is a very popular topic, and then you get taken straight into the video. So essentially there's those two arrows that point to the mum, then to the son, while the AI voice is talking, and then it goes straight into the content. And this is very clever because there is a lot of content now where this AI voice actually provides context as to what is happening. And this is why Garyvee did it. The intro he used provides context, but the intro is also based on a trend, which means it's a popular style and it works on social media. And if you leave this video with one specific thing, it's not any of the tactics that I just mentioned, it's actually the fact that we are studying content that works to get tactics that work on social media. These tactics and everything I'm mentioning might not be relevant in a couple of years. However, studying content that's at the top, the content that's trending, is the best way to know what works. And if you really want to know how to make good content, I'm going to be making some more videos on this channel. And if you want me to review your videos or your Instagram reels, drop them in the comments and I might just. Thanks for watching, peace out, subscribe.
Number 3.